First time we met Kellyn was at the East Lansing Art Fair, and she was there with her sister, Alex, and Alex Mayer. And it was, you could tell it was very, very tough for Kellyn because she didn't know us. And she and I have talked about the fact that her sister was there as kind of a real safety net as she met her boyfriend's parents. So it was an interesting day as she was trying to go back and forth and get to know us a little bit. But one of my very first real impressions is we went to Buffalo Wild Wings for lunch. And as we sat there, every time the server came over, Kellyn said, "Thank you very much. Yes, please." And I remember thinking that she was such a polite young lady that I was so very, very impressed by that.
I agree.
I don't really remember the specific date or anything, but I remember hearing about him, through Kellyn, and how she got so all involved with some boy all of a sudden that I hadn't heard of. But then when I saw him, and he was a Michigan State guy, I could tell that he was raised by the same kind of people I am. He had respect for me and my house, and I thought she could have done a lot worse.
It wasn't the first time I met him, but I remember we had a gathering for the Super Bowl game. And I remember he came and he brought a dish to pass, and he had made it himself. And I thought to myself that he's a keeper, that impressed me so much. I knew then that he was in it for a long term. I first noticed it where, they were very playful. Tim and I, we were the same way. We were very playful. And oftentimes, when we spend times together, I would have to remind them, "How old are you?" Because they would just go back and forth.
They're kind of like a stand-up comedy team. It's the impression I got from their relationship. They seem to respect each other.
Yes.
They did for each other. If you're going to stay together, you got to take care of each other. I guess that would be my first impression of them together.
They always seem happy and smiley and laughing, and that's how I always see them. I don't picture them differently between then and now. I think it's the same.
I just see that they've grown together so much more. When we first met the two of them together, it seemed like they were very, very good friends, very, very good relationship. But now they're real partners. I love that every time that we're with Kellyn and Alex, whether it's talking on the phone, whether it's Skyping, whether it's face-to-face in person, I love that we can have really serious discussions with one another. We can laugh about big things, we can laugh about little things. They're fun people to be around, and they're kind, great people to be around.
And homeboy and I were sitting at the end of the runway, this ramp, and watching the people come out of the Rihanna concert, waiting for Kellyn and her sister and Mallory and Kay to come out, and watching these girls in these high heels and these tight sequence dresses try to make it down that ramp, waiting for our girls to come out, and how much we laughed about these girls trying to move fast. And then you guys showed up, and you were about the same way, a little not dressed in the sequence. You didn't have the tight dresses and the. Well, I remember Alex and I had to kill about 4 hours there during that process, and me and him that was probably the time I got to know him the best, when we were gambling and trying to get along. And that's what I remember about Alex in Vegas. We all had fun that trip.
For me, it was going downtown Las Vegas. I always remember, though, the line dancing part. There was a band playing, and they were arguing about, oh, should we go and dance or whatever, and they just went out there and did it. And I was watching them line dancing, and my dad and his wife Barb said, he's the one. Even then, you know, they loved him even then, you know, at that moment, I remember. For me, it was when they moved to Kansas together. I just knew that Kellyn was already committed, but at that point when Homeboy moved out to Kansas with her, that was the moment. I knew he was committed.
I just think they fit together well, I guess, and I mean, it's progression.
Right.
Kellyn hasn't had a lot of other boyfriends that I wanted anywhere near her, so I would think early on I knew they would end up together just because they have the same dynamics that we do, you know, and you can see the similarities.
It just seems like they grew into each other, and their relationship matured, and they just kind of clicked together, and I just think that's how they were going to be, and they decided to get married at that point.
I knew long before that they were definitely committed to each other, but I remember joking with Alex that when they got a shared cell phone plan, that he was finally really making a commitment.
True.
To do some navigating.
As long as they can look at each other and look into their eyes and be honest with each other, and as long as they can laugh and have a good time, that would be my advice to them. Just laugh all the time and make each other smile. That's how I see our relationship, and that's I wish to them the same thing.
Stay friends. Stay best friends. So often I see couples, whether they're married couples, but it's like they treat their friends better than they treat one another. And Kellyn and Alex treat each other like they're best friends. And I think that as long as they continue that's exactly the path that they're on to have an absolutely fabulous marriage.
Never lose respect for each other. That's another thing. I mean, you know, always stay in love, you know, that doesn't always happen long term, you know, but always respect each other, and you have to compromise a lot.
Amen, brother. And you know what helps? I mean, it's helped us all the time, is a common thread. We always like pick something that we want in the future, and we move towards it together. And that's if there's one thing that's kept our marriage together, it's we're always striving for something together, whatever it could be. You know, if it's to build a house, or if it's to move, or change our jobs, we do it together, and that's really how you stay married.
Right.
You know?
A long time ago, I think Alex was in middle school, and he and I were talking about my relationship with my mom and John's mom, and we were talking about John's relationship with both of our moms. And I said to him something about, you know, I hope that I'm not an evil mother-in-law someday. And he made the comment to me, I still remember, and he said, Mom, I just know that whoever becomes my wife, you're going to be really good friends with her. And I am so glad, because I think that Kellyn is just such a fabulous person that I am not only honored to welcome her into our family, but I do consider her our new daughter and a very dear friend.
Alex needs to take care of my daughter. He needs to make sure she smiles. Just get her up and make sure when she gets out of bed that she's happy about it. That's what all he's got to do. That'd be, you know, is to make sure that she doesn't lose that spring that she has in her step. I mean, she's got it. You don't want her to ever lose that.
I just wish you the best, and I hope that everything in both of your lives click and that you both will be very happy together. And I do wish you the best, and make each other laugh and smile.
Best wishes. We love you both.
We love you both.